I'm going to describe the difference between arrays and lists. As I mentioned earlier, you'll need to know about arrays and lists, and this is a major difference. So let's get the shell up again. An array would be exactly the same with all of the data in, but all of the data has to be of the same type. So these are all integers, and that would make it an array, which would be in sort of languages such as BASIC or Pascal. Also, an array is of a fixed length. So this array would only have 4 items, and we couldn't have a 5th, and we couldn't have a 6th. It wouldn't work that way. Whereas in Python, the list can have objects of different types. So here I've got a 1, a boolean, and then a string, and whoops, it needs a square bracket on the end, and that is perfectly acceptable. So if I print my list, there you go, it's given me an integer, a boolean, and a string. This is not possible with an array in BASIC or anything else like that. This only happens in Python. So arrays are fixed and they're only of one type. So when you are in your exam and it's talking about or probably looking at arrays, I think you would be safe to assume that what is in that array is all of the same type. And whether they're talking about Python or whether you know Python or not, they will not be giving you anything that has different types. So that is a quick introduction to the difference between arrays. Remember, arrays are of fixed size, so that can't have a 5th one. The list, it can be of different types, can also be all of the same type, and mostly we do use it with all the same type. Can be of different types, and it's what we call dynamic. In other words, we can just keep adding to our list as we go along. So I can do this, my list dot append 3.14159, and when I type my list, you'll find that that's been, whoops, when I type my list, you'll find that that's been added onto the end. That cannot happen with an array. An array is a fixed size. So that's a quick difference between arrays and lists. But from now on, as I'll be using pretty much all of the same type, I will use the word array and list interchangeably. So please be aware that they are different. Although there is no such thing as an array in Python, there is no such thing as a list in another language without you creating it, and that is a little bit too advanced for GCSE. So that's the difference between arrays and lists.